Welcome to JSS Matriculation School Talavadi social class. Today I go to explain you history lesson number 3, rural life and society. In the past class I explained permanent settlement, Raitwari system and Mahalwari system. Today I go to explain you Pleasant's revolts. The British rule in India brought about many changes in the agrarian system in the country. The old agrarian system collapsed, and under a new system, the ownership of land was confirmed on the jamindars. They tried to extract as much as they could from the cultivator of land, and life of the peasants was extremely miserable. The various peasants' movements and uprising during the 19th and 20th century were in the nature of the protest against the exciting conditions under which their exploitations knew to no limits. Now we are going to learn about the first peasants' revolts, that is the Shantala Rebellions. It will be 1855 to 1856. The first revolt, which can be regarded as peasants' revolt, was the Shantala Rebellion in 1855 to 1856. The land near the hills of Rajmahal in Bihar was cultivated by the Shantalas. The landlords and moneylenders from the cities took advantage of their ignorance and began grabbing their lands. Created bitter resentment among them, leading to their armed uprising in 1855. Consequently, under the belief of the divine order, around 10,000 Shantalas gathered under two Shantalas brothers, those are Sidhu and Kunhu, to free their country for the foreign oppressors and set up a government of their own. The rebellion assumed a formidable shape within a month. The house of the European planters, British officers, railway engineers, jamindars and moneylenders were attacked. The rebellion continued till February 1856, when the rebel leaders were captured and the movement was put down with the heavy hand. The government declared the Parganas inhabited to them as Shantala Parganas, so that their lands and identity could be safeguarded from external encroachments. The next rebellion is Indigo Revolt. It will be there in 1859 to 1860. The Bengal indigo cultivators strike was the most militant and widespread peasant uprising. The European indigo planters compelled the tenant farmer to grow indigo at terms high disadvantages to the farmers. The tenant farmer was forced to sell its sheep to the planters and accepted advances from the planters that benefited the latter. There were also costs of kidnapping, looting, flogging and burning. Led by Digambar Biswas and Bishnu Charan Biswas, the Rights of Nadia district gave up indigo cultivation in September 1859. Factories were burnt down and the revolt spread. To take control of the situation, the government set up an indigo commission in 1860, whose recommendation formed part from the Act 6 of Recommendation 1862. The indigo planters of Bengal, however, moved on the settle in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The newspaper Hindu Patriot brought to the light of misery of the cultivator several times. Dinabandhu Mitra wrote a drama, Neel Darpan, in Bengali with a view to draw the attention of the people and the government towards the misery of the indigo cultivators. Next, we are now about Panna Revolt. Panna Revolt. It will be in 1873 to 76. 1873 to 1876. Panna peasant uprising was a resistance movement by the peasants against the oppressions of Jamindars. It originated in the Yusuf Shahi Pragna of Pamban in Bengal. It was led by Keshab Chandra Roy. The Jamindar routinely collected money from the peasants by the illegal means of forced levy, abhubs, announced rent, and so on. Peasants were often evicted from the land on the pretext of non-payment of rent. Large crowds of peasants gathered and marched through villages, flattering the Jamindars and appealing to other peasants to join with them. Funds were raised from the rights to meet the costs. The struggle gradually spread throughout Pabna and then to the other districts of East Bengal. Everywhere agrarian leagues were organized. The main form of struggle was that of illegal resistance. There was very little violence. It occurred only when the Jamindars tried to compel the raids to submit to their terms by forces. There were a few causes of looting from the houses of Jamindars. A few attacks on police station took place and the peasants also resisted attempts to execute court dresses. Hardly Jamindars or Jamindars' agents were killed and seriously injured. In the course of the movement, the Rights developed a strong awareness of the law and their legal rights and the ability to combine and form association for peaceful agitations. The next is Deccan Rights in 1875. In 1875, the peasants revolted in the district of Pune. That event has been called the Deccan Rights. The peasants revolted primarily against the oppressions of local moneylenders who were grabbing their lands systematically. The uprising started from the village in Pune district when the village people forced out a local moneylender from the village and captured his property. Gradually, the uprising spread over 33 villages and the peasants looted the property of Mahavari Sukras. The uprising turned into the violent when the Sahukars took help of the police. It was suppressed only when the army was called to control it. However, it resulted in passing of the Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act, which removed from the most serious grievances of peasants. The next, we are going to learn about Punjab peasants' movements in 1860 and 1900. The peasants of the Punjab agitate to prevent and rapid alienations of their lands to the urban moneylenders for failure of pay debts. The British India did not want any revolt in that provinces, which provided a large number of soldiers to the British Army in India. In order to protect the peasants of the Punjab Land Allegation Act was passed in 1900 as an experimental measure to be extended to the rest of India if it worked successfully in the Punjab. The act divided the population of the Punjab into three categories: the agricultural class, the statutory agriculturist class, and the rest of the population, including the money lenders. Restrictions were imposed on the sale of the mortgage of the land from the first category to the other two categories. The European planters of Champaran in Bihar resorted to illegal and inhuman methods of indigo cultivation at the cost of was wholly unjust. Under the Tinkachia system in Champaran, the peasants were bound by law to grow indigo on 3 by 20, a part of their land, and the same to be the British planters, and prices fixed by them. They were liable to unlawful extortions of oppressions by the planters. Mahatma Gandhi took up their causes. The government appointed an inquiry commissions of which Mahatma Gandhi was a member. The grievances of the peasants were inquired and ultimately the Champaran Agrarian Act was passed in May 1980. The next movement is Kheda or Khaira Satyagraha in 1980. In the Kheda district of Gujarat, due to constant famines, agriculture failed in 1980, but the officer instead and collection of full land revenue. In the local peasants, therefore, started a no tax movement in Kheda district in 1980. Gandhi accepted the leadership of the movement. Gandhiji organized the peasants to offer satyagraha and oppose official insistence on full collection of oppressive land revenue, despite the conditions of famine. He inspired the peasants to be fearless and face all consequences. The response to his call was unprecedented, and the government had to bow to a settlement with the peasants. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel emerged as the important leader of the Indian freedom struggle during this period. The next rebellion is Mula Rebellion. It should be there in 1921. The Muslim Mufla or Mufla, we are called now, peasants of Malabar in Kerala, was suppressed and exploited by the Hindu Jamins and British government. This was the main causes of the revolt. The Mufla peasants got momentum from the Malabar district conference held in April 1920. The conference supported the tenants' causes and demanded legislation for regulating landlords-tenant relations. In August 1921, the Mufla tenants rebelled against the oppressive Jamindars. In the initial phase of the rebellion, the Mafla peasants attacked the police station, public office, communication, and houses of oppressive landlords and moneylenders. By December 1921, the government ruthless supports the Mafla rebellions. According to an official estimate, as a result of government intervention, 2,337 Mafla rebellions were killed, 1,650 wounded, and more than 45,000 captured as prisoners. The next is Bardoli Satyagraha. It will be caused in 1929 to 30. In 1928, the peasants of Bardoli, it will be there in Gujarat, started their agitations under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in protest against the government's proposal to increase land revenue by 30%. The peasants refused to pay tax and the announced rate and started no tax campaign in 12th February 1928. May women also participated in the campaign. In 1930, the peasants of Bardali rose to a man, refused to pay taxes, faced the auction sales and the eventually loss of almost all of their lands, but refused to submit to the government. However, all their lands were returned to them when the Congress came to power in 1937. Thank you for watching my class.